They say a mirror remembers everything you've ever been, but what they don't tell you is that sometimes it wants to be you more than you do. My name is Amina, and the night I cut my hair, I didn't just break my grandmother's rule. I opened a door I didn't know existed, and something walked through it wearing my face. I need you to understand who I was before that night, because after, nothing was the same. Not the village, not my family, not even the way people said my name. I was the girl everyone trusted. The girl who woke before dawn to fetch water so my mother could rest her aching bones. The girl who fed our 3 cows and 4 sheep before the sun remembered to rise. My father would find me already at the woodpile, axe in hand, splitting logs like I was splitting the day open to make room for goodness. At school, teachers smiled when I entered, not because I was the smartest, but because I made the room feel safer somehow. My friends, the quiet ones who sat in the back and wore the same dress every week, they felt beautiful when I was near. I had this way of seeing people, really seeing them. Not their clothes or their grades or whether the popular girls liked them. I saw their hearts, and I made sure they knew their hearts were enough. I wasn't perfect, but I tried. God knows I tried. My grandmother lived with us, Gogo Thundiway. She was small and bent like a question mark, but her voice could fill a room, and she had rules, so many rules. Don't whistle at night, don't point at graves, don't let a broom touch your feet, and the one she said most often, the one she would grab my hand and make me repeat back to her, never, ever cut your hair after the sun goes down. Why, Gogo? I'd ask, laughing, because I was young and the world felt full of light. Because the night has eyes, she'd say, her face serious as stone. And mirrors have memories. You cut your crown in darkness, you give something permission to cross over. You hear me, child? You keep your hair until morning. I'd nod. But inside, I thought it was just old woman talk. Superstition. The kind of thing grandmothers say to keep you afraid of things that aren't real. I should have listened. It started with my best friend Zoleika. Beautiful Zoleika, with the loud laugh and the brave heart. She'd been saving money for months to get her hair done at the salon in town. Box braids, long and beautiful. She was so excited. But when she came to school that Monday, something had gone wrong. The braids were uneven, too tight on one side, lumpy, the kind of mistake that makes people point. And they did. Oh, God, they did. The popular girls, the ones who wore makeup and short skirts and ruled the school like it was their kingdom, they saw her and they laughed. Not quiet laughs, loud, cruel, cutting laughs that sliced the air like knives. What happened to your head, Zoleika? Did you let a chicken braid it? Zoleika tried to laugh it off, but I saw her face. I saw the way her smile cracked at the edges. I saw her eyes go wet and how she turned away so no one would see her cry. And something in me broke. I stood up in the middle of the classroom. Everyone went quiet. Tomorrow, we're all cutting our hair. All of us. So Zoleika isn't alone. The room exploded. Some people cheered, some people gasped. The popular girls rolled their eyes. But my friends, my real friends, they nodded. They understood. Zoleika grabbed my hand under the desk and squeezed so hard it hurt. But it was a good hurt. The kind that means thank you when words aren't enough. That afternoon, I worked at Mr. Lamini's shop like I did every Tuesday. Sweeping, stacking shelves, helping old ladies count their change. Mr. Lamini always paid me in bread and a few coins, and I always gave the bread to families who needed it more. I was just finishing when I heard the crash. 3 men, masks over their faces. They ran into the shop, grabbed boxes, knocked over shelves, tore through Mr. Lamini's life like it was nothing. I screamed, loud, so loud the whole street heard. They ran, but the damage was done. Mr. Lamini stood in the ruins of his shop, old hands shaking, looking at me with eyes that had seen too much. He whispered, "Thank you, child. You scared them away." I couldn't leave him like that. So I stayed. I swept the broken glass. I picked up cans. I stacked what could be saved. By the time I finished, the sky had swallowed the sun and the moon hung low like a warning I couldn't read. I walked home, exhausted. And then I remembered. The hair. I had promised. I pulled out my phone and called my friend Nandi. Nandi, I forgot. I need to cut my hair tonight for Zuleika. But my grandmother always said never at night. What do I do? Nandi laughed. Amina, it's just hair. Your grandmother is old. Those stories aren't real. Do you want to break your promise to Zuleika after what you said in class? Everyone's counting on you. She was right. I'd made a promise, and I was the girl who kept promises. So I went to my room. I lit the lamp. I stood in front of the mirror, scissors in my hand, looking at my reflection. My hair was long, so long. My grandmother used to braid it on Sundays while humming old songs. I'm sorry, Gogo, I whispered to the empty room. And I cut. Snip, snip, snip. The sound was so loud in the silence, my hair fell like black rain. I watched it pile on the floor, and for a second, I swear I saw my reflection smile. But I wasn't smiling. I blinked, looked again. Normal. I laughed at myself. Just nerves. I swept up the hair, wrapped it in a cloth, and went to bed. When I woke up, something was wrong. The house was cold. Not weather cold, soul cold. Like something had breathed ice into the walls while I slept. I got up and looked in the small mirror by my bed. My reflection looked back. Normal. But then it smiled. A slow, careful smile. I wasn't smiling. I jerked back, heart pounding. The reflection kept smiling. Stop it, I whispered. It didn't stop. I ran out of the room, shaking. My mother was in the kitchen. Mama, something's wrong with... She looked at me, and her face went tight, like she was looking at a stranger.
Amina, did you cut your hair last night? My stomach dropped. Yes, but Mama, it was for... Go to school, she said, voice flat. We'll talk later. School was worse. I walked into class and everyone went quiet. Not the good quiet, the bad kind. The kind that makes your skin crawl. Zuleika looked at me, and her eyes were different, cold. You didn't cut your hair, she said, loud enough for everyone to hear. You lied. What? Zuleika, I did, look! But when I touched my head, I felt hair, long hair. My hair was back. No, that was impossible. I ran to the bathroom, looked in the mirror. Long hair, like I'd never cut it. But I had. I knew I had. Unless... That's when I saw her. In the mirror, standing behind me, wearing my face, my clothes, my smile, but wrong. All wrong. She tilted her head. You shouldn't have done that, she said. Her voice was mine, but colder, sharper, like a knife wrapped in silk. I spun around. Nothing. No one there. I looked back at the mirror. She was still there, staring at me with my own eyes. Who are you? I whispered. I'm you. The you that doesn't waste time being good. The you that doesn't carry everyone else's pain. The you that takes what she wants. You're not real. She laughed. I'm more real than you now. You opened the door, Amina. You cut your crown at night. You let me through. And then she stepped out of the mirror. Literally stepped out, like walking through water. I screamed, but no sound came. She pressed her hand over my mouth. Her hand was ice. Shh, she whispered. Don't fight it. You're tired, aren't you? Tired of being good, tired of helping, tired of caring. Let me take over. I'll do it better. She pushed me. I fell, and when I looked up, She was gone. And I was trapped in the mirror, looking out at my own room, watching her walk away in my body. No one believed me. I screamed from inside the mirror, but no sound escaped. I watched her, my reflection, walk through my life like she owned it. And the worst part? She was better at being me than I was. At home, she didn't clean, she didn't cook. When my mother asked her to fetch water, she rolled her eyes and said, "Do it yourself. I'm tired." My mother gasped. "Amina, what has gotten into you?" "My name," the reflection said, voice dripping with venom, "is not your problem." My father tried to discipline her. She laughed in his face. "Touch me and see what happens, old man." They didn't know what to do. Their sweet daughter had become a stranger. Only my grandmother knew. Gogo Tandiwe looked at the reflection and her face went hard as stone. "You are not my granddaughter." The reflection smiled. "Prove it." At school, it was worse. So much worse. The reflection walked into class wearing makeup, tight clothes, hair done perfectly. She sat with the popular girls and laughed at the quiet ones, at my friends. "Zaleka," she said loud enough for everyone to hear, "your braids still look like trash. Maybe don't be so cheap next time." Zaleka's face crumpled. My heart, trapped in the mirror, shattered. The reflection turned on everyone. She told Mr. Delamy that he deserved to be robbed for being weak. She mocked the teachers. She spread rumors. She destroyed friendships with a smile, and everyone believed it was me. The girl who'd been loved became the girl everyone feared, hated, avoided. I watched from mirrors, from windows, from every reflective surface, helpless, screaming silently. My grandmother didn't waste time. She went to the old women by the river, the ones who remembered the old ways, the ones who knew about doors that shouldn't be opened. 3 days later, they came. Old women with faces like ancient trees and eyes that had seen too much. They carried bags of herbs and bones and things I didn't have names for. They found the reflection in my room, admiring herself in the mirror, looking at me, mocking me. "Hello, little thief," one of the old women said. The reflection spun around, and for the first time, I saw fear in her eyes. "You can't touch me. I'm her now." "No," the old woman said, pulling out a comb made of bone and carved with symbols that hurt to look at. "You're a shadow that forgot its place." They began to sing. Old songs, songs that made the air thick, songs that made the walls shake, songs that pulled at the reflection like hands grabbing cloth. The reflection screamed. She fought. She clawed. She threw everything she had at them. But the old women didn't stop. The bone comb glowed. One of the women grabbed the reflection's hair and pulled. Not hair, something deeper, something that lived inside her. The reflection thrashed. You can't. I'm real now. I have a life. I have friends. I'm better than her. The comb tore through her, and she shattered, like glass, like water, like smoke. And I fell, out of the mirror, onto the floor, gasping, solid, real. My grandmother held me while I sobbed. "I'm sorry, Gogo. I'm so sorry." "I know, child. I know," she whispered. The village slowly remembered who I'd been, but not everyone forgave. Some people couldn't unsee the girl who'd mocked them. Some friendships were broken beyond repair. Zaleka apologized, cried, held me. But things weren't the same between us. How could they be? The popular girls avoided me now. They'd seen something in that reflection that scared them. Maybe they'd seen themselves. My parents looked at me differently, like I was fragile, like I might break again. Only my grandmother treated me the same. She braided my hair on Sundays, she hummed her old songs, and she never said, "I told you so." But every night before bed, she'd kiss my forehead and whisper, "Never cut your crown in darkness, my child. Never." And I never did again. Years have passed. I'm older now. I've left that village, but I carry the story with me. People ask why I don't use mirrors much, why I cover them at night, why I braid my hair before the sun goes down. I smile. I don't explain. How could I? How do you tell someone that you once lost yourself to a reflection? That you watched your own face destroy everything you loved? That you learned hard way that some old rules aren't superstitions? They're warnings, written in the blood and tears of people who learned too late. I think about that night a lot. The night I chose to keep a promise over keeping myself safe. The night I thought I knew better than my grandmother. The night I opened a door I didn't know existed. And I wonder sometimes, late at night, when the house is quiet and the moon hangs low, if that reflection is still out there somewhere, in some other mirror, waiting for another girl to cut her hair in darkness, waiting for another door to open. I hope not. But if she is, I hope that girl has a grandmother who loves her enough to tell her the truth, that mirrors remember everything, and sometimes they want to be you more than you do. So please, I'm begging you, if your grandmother tells you not to cut your hair at night, listen to her. If she tells you the night has eyes and mirrors have memories, believe her. Because the old women know things we've forgotten. And some doors, once opened, can never be fully closed. My name is Amina, and I'm the girl who lost herself in a mirror and fought to get back. Don't be me. Don't make my mistake. Because the reflection that comes through, she won't love the people you love. She won't protect the things you protect. She won't be you. She'll be everything you were afraid to be. And by the time you realize what you've lost, it might be too late to get it back. Listen to your grandmothers. Respect the old rules. And never, ever cut your hair at night.